All right. Enough of that. What's up, everybody? It's your boy. Yeah, it's Pigskin Pete. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight for the most underrated college football call-in show on all of YouTube. It's certainly not the longest running. That belongs to Uncle Lou. It's not the best. I believe that Mark Rogers is claiming that one, but it is the most underrated one. And being the college football call-in show that it is, there's nothing college football related in the title. That's how I like to do things around here. And that's because, to me, it's like Christmas Eve around here. Yes, it's NFL Draft Eve. I love the NFL Draft because unlike a lot of people that watch this channel, I do love the NFL. Yes, I do love the NFL. Not quite as much as I like college football, okay? But I do love the NFL. And this is the only time of the year when the two merge. College and NFL. I will be live tomorrow night for the first round of the NFL draft. I think I'm going to come on air right at around 8 p.m. I think that's when the coverage starts. I don't know when they'll actually make the first pick. Probably, they'll ramble on about nonsense for 30 minutes or so. So that'll give us time to ramble on about nonsense here on the stream before they make the first pick. And I'll stay on as long as I possibly can tomorrow night, hopefully for the entire first round. There's a lot to talk about with the first round of the draft, but of course, most importantly, this is a call-in show. If you want to call in, the number to call in is 864-207-4522. For the people in the back who didn't hear it, or if you can't read, the number to call in is 864-207-4522. Let's get to the pleasantries real quick. You guys know, normally, look, I'm a professional. Normally, I got so many notebooks around here. I got notebooks over here. I got one. From where I'm sitting, 1, 2, there's 3, 4 notebooks, and then a bunch of loose papers that I've ripped out to make room for new papers, laying all around. So normally what I do, since I'm such a professional, is anytime I have a call-in show or any live show to do, I have all sorts of bullet points, notes of things I want to talk about. You guys want to see my bullet points for tonight? Look at this. That's it. 0 bullet points. I have nothing on my agenda. So I'm relying heavily on the callers tonight, or I'm just going to go off the head here. What happened was I was watching a movie. Normally I spend an hour or so before the show trying to gather my thoughts. I'm a very scatterbrained person, if you didn't know that already. Most smart people are. But seriously, I was watching a movie. I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street 4. You guys know on HBO Max right now, they have all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And growing up, one of the 4 VHS tapes I had as a kid was Nightmare on Elm Street 4. It was nostalgic. I hadn't seen that movie in probably, I don't know, 30 years, 20-something, 28 years, something like that. So I was watching that, and it was so important that I couldn't make notes for the show tonight. Let's get to the pleasantries real quick. And of course, get to the chat, and then I see the phone lines are full, so I'll get to the phone lines. First and foremost, D4. Everyone go subscribe to D4 Sports. Yes, D4 Sports is doing big things over there on the D4 Sports channel. Lots of controversy about D4 Sports. I won't get into that because like Sleeta, no drama over here. Anyway, there was a Good Samaritan that was interested in helping D4 Sports reach 1,000 subscribers, which he did do early this week. So congratulations to him for that. But as I mentioned, anybody who wants to sponsor the show or multiple shows or a month of show, whatever you want to do, hit me up through email or Twitter. and I will be happy to do so. I will not sponsor. Like, in other words, if somebody comes to me and goes, "Hey, I'll give you a few $100, Pete. Do you want to sponsor EDP 445 channel?" I'm gonna say no. Okay. I gotta like the channel and watch the channel for me to accept that. But listen, if you're an individual, a YouTuber, maybe a business owner, whatever you are, whatever reason you want to do to sponsor the show, just let me know. Okay. D4 did not sponsor the channel. He did not contact me. He did not ask me to do this. Somebody else did. So clear that up. That'll be the last I say about that. But good luck to D4. He's doing big things over there. Slob Olympics 2022, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It sounds as if we're getting somewhere here with the hotel situation. I'm sure we'll let everybody know as soon as we find out, exactly when we're able to reserve the rooms at this. What's this place called? The Riverside. I think it's the Riverside Towers in Pigeon Forge. Several people calling. Uncle Lou, Scott Kerr calling and giving the general manager a piece of his mind. Sounds like it's going to cost about $110 per night. And as soon as we're able to reserve those rooms, we will. So we'll let you know about that. But yes, Slob Olympics 2022. It already in the planning phase. Of course, there is the Lunch Money Show every Monday night at 10 p.m. with myself and Uncle Lou, the show about nothing, the best show about nothing on all of the internet. I thought that it was the only show about nothing on the internet, but Lou brought to my attention that there is a lot of other shows out there that basically talk about nothing. But the difference is some of those shows, they're trying to talk about something, but they end up talking about nothing. This is the only one where we actually try to talk about nothing. And I think it's a skill that not many people have, but we clearly do have it. Let's see who's in the chat here real quick. Matt Dummett's here. Clemson Carson, Samuel Peete, Caleb the Spelling Bee Man. Oh yeah, by the way, Caleb Spelling Bee Man, I see your name lit up in green there. Shout out to all the Join members. Thank you all. The people that support the show through the Join are much appreciated and never overlooked or forgotten about. I know who every single one of you are. Even if your name wasn't in green, I know who you are. Luke Walker's here. Says the North Carolina defensive line looks nasty. I believe you. I think a lot of that players in that team look nasty. Tiger Nation. What's up, man? Tiger Nate. DeGoat Watson. He is the GOAT, by the way. I don't think the GOAT, where you been, buddy? I haven't seen you around here in a while. Or maybe you've been here and I just didn't notice. But I typically do notice who's here. Uncle Lou is here. Hello. Welcome to Lou's Little Thing or whatever, starring the incomparable Uncle Lou and Pigskin Pete. Yeah, I should have done that with the Lunch Money Show graphic up. But anyway, what's up, Lou? Rack Dog is here. Nate, the hopeful Wolverines fan. Hope Nate makes it to the Slob Olympics. Sounds like he's going to. Dylan Deloney. Uncle Lou says hashtag V-neck. Yes. Yes, my V-neck shirt game is strong over here, Lou. I've got V-neck shirts, white, black, blue, purple, green, brown, pretty much every color of the rainbow, and then some in between. You know, the one thing I don't have is a pink V-neck, but I want one. Now you're reminding me. I need to go look for one. It's hard for me to find. There's a specific brand of V-neck shirt I wear, so I have to go with what they have when I go to the store. You know, go Tigers 504. Kevin Dogs fan for life. Wisconsin sports fan 100. SEC dog. What's up, buddy? Mm-hmm. Dylan Deloney, thank you for the super chat. Says, I like to see Clemson play Southern Cal. I would like to see that too. But sometimes I get a lot of Texas fans, states like Michigan, Texas, all these teams that Clemson's either never played or hardly ever played in history. Unless something changes in the scheduling or one of these teams makes it, into a playoff situation and Clemson makes it to the playoffs also, or maybe a New Year's Six bowl game or whatever, you're not going to see it. Clemson's scheduled out so far. I'll be dead before they schedule Southern California, unfortunately. But I'd like to see that too. I'd like to see a home and home with them. SO Mafia's here. All right. Alrighty. Let's get to the phone lines here. Lots of draft talk coming up. This is one of the more interesting drafts, in my opinion, in recent years because after Trevor, we all know Trevor Lawrence is going number one, right? That's pretty much a foregone conclusion, I think. I don't think anybody's not picking Trevor Lawrence to go to Jacksonville. But after that, the quarterback, you could look at 100 different mock drafts and you'll see 100 different. You know what the mock drafts are like. This is the reason I don't do mock drafts anymore. The mock draft situation is like, it's like the NCAA bracket when you do the bracket challenge deals. Once you get one player wrong, it screws up the rest of your mock draft or your bracket or whatever. So I love seeing people's brackets or mock drafts get destroyed after like the third pick. And this is the situation we're seeing with the quarterbacks this year. I mean, outside of Trevor Lawrence, the next 5 or 6 quarterbacks, nobody has any clue where they're going. I don't care what you heard on ESPN or whatever, or from your favorite YouTuber. They don't know either. I promise you. Why is nobody talking about the fact that Zach Wilson is just automatically projected to go second to the Jets? Do you know? I know Zach Wilson had a great year last year at BYU during the pandemic, and they played nobody really. And the team that they played that was ranked, that Coastal Carolina, they got beat. But do you know in 2019, Zach Wilson threw 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions? That's awful. He had like a 50% completion percentage. That's awful. Now, in my dream world, as a Panther fan, they pick 8th. If somehow the Jets are stupid enough to take Zach Wilson, in my opinion, stupid enough, and then the 49ers are stupid enough to take Mac Jones, and somehow, by a miracle of God himself, Justin Fields falls to number 8, the Panthers better pick him up. They got rid of Teddy Two Gloves today, shipped him off to the Denver Broncos for a bag of potato chips, a 6th round pick, which freed up some cap space for Carolina. They were paying that guy $20 million a year to do nothing. And but now you look, if Justin Fields falls to number 8 and Carolina Panthers don't take him, then that's that. You'll see me lose my shit right here on YouTube. Now I don't even know. Maybe, for all I know, Justin Fields get taken 2nd or 3rd overall. And these teams, they lie. You get these insiders like Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. Oh, I spoke with the general manager of San Francisco, and they're hinting at the fact that they're going to take Mac. They're not telling him. Why would anybody tell Mel Kiper what they're doing? They don't want to let these other teams know what they're doing. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Yeah, good evening, Pete. It's Caleb the Stubborn.
Yes.
Checking in. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm amazing and fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm amazing and fantastic as well,
Good.
sir, because I just saw I just got done watching the Braves beat the Cubs like an orphan. And, and then I'm going to see my dad tomorrow as well.
So the Braves actually won a baseball game? Didn't they lose?
Yeah, 10-9.
What are they? Are they still in last place in their division?
No, they just jumped up to first tonight. They're back to 500.
Holy crap.
12. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry, I just have to address something in the comment section before I forget. SEC Dog says Mac Jones will be the biggest bust in my opinion, and then he said, where is it? it him that said that? Hold on. Somebody said it. I think it was him. Chris Sims has Justin Fields falling all the way to 32. And can you believe that? The 32nd pick. That's Chris Sims. What? Who's paying this guy?
It really blows my mind the potato level that some people have. Just the pure potato in some people's brains really blows my mind.
Yeah, well, that's me every day. As soon as I leave my house, I run into potato heads everywhere. So, no shocker there.
That's the way it is, man. There's one in every crowd, if not multiple.
No, you're right. So what's give us the skinny real quick before we get into the football. Give me the skinny on Papa Caleb. How's he doing?
He's doing good, man. He's ever since the trach and the feeding tube were put in, he's been doing well, and they upped the visiting to 2 people a day. They just can't be in there at the same time, so I'm going to be able to go see him tomorrow.
For the first time?
Yes.
Awesome.
First time since the heart attack, yes.
Now, is he...
I mean, I've seen him on video chat.
Is he able to talk yet, or does he still have... Because they took the feeding tube out, you said, like what, a week, 2 weeks ago, a week ago?
Well, no, not the feeding tube, the vent.
Oh, okay.
But he still can't talk with the trach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can't talk with that. He'll be able to eventually talk once they're able to kind of, I guess, shrinking it a little bit. So he'll have like a button to press on it, and then eventually he'll probably, with the way he's progressing, they hope that they'll be able to take it out completely.
All right, good. So that's good news. But the real good news is you actually get to go see him. That's the real good news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been thinking about you.
I was gonna, I appreciate it, man. Absolutely. The response that we've gotten during this time is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, man. For real.
Well, hopefully everything goes great. He recovers as much as possible, and then you guys can make the trip. We'd like to see him, and you, of course, in Pigeon Forge in March of 2022.
Oh yeah, we'll be there, and I'll be competing and winning.
Yes, of course
we'll
you will.
Be there.
Right.
and maybe you might even see me on September 4th and him if he's out of the hospital by then.
That'd be great.
If not, you'll just see.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for as far as the Georgia and Clemson game is concerned. I'm just waiting because they're supposed to lift the I don't even know what you call it. The restrictions on large gatherings on June 1st is what I heard. I don't know if it's changed since then. So what I'm predicting is going to happen here is that as of June 1st, they're going to lift the restrictions on large gatherings, and then shortly thereafter, hopefully very soon after that, they will start selling tickets to the general public for this game at a much lower rate. Last time I went on, the cheapest ticket I could find was like $390 or $400, something like that. Secondary, StubHub or whatever. Yeah. So
I have a feeling with them announcing 100% capacity, that'll help us, poor people with ticket prices.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Panthers Stadium holds, I think, 65,000, somewhere around there. And they're only selling like, whatever it was, 15,000 or something like that, right now. So that frees up 50,000 more tickets to be sold, once they go to full capacity, which will drastically drop the price of some of these tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've addressed this before, but how cool is that how cool that will be, to be able to see your favorite college football team play in your favorite NFL stadium?
Yes. So that's a great point. That will be cool because I have never been to an ACC championship game. I've been to a ton of Clemson games, obviously on campus, and I've been to one Clemson game, away game, and that was in at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Clemson's played a bunch of times in Bank of America Stadium, obviously because they have the ACC championship there every year. But I've never been to one of them. So, yeah, that will be cool.
Yeah, I bet.
It's also going to be cool to watch them smack the shit out of Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what was that?
Nothing. Go ahead. What's up, buddy?
I might have had to get you up there where you said smacking Georgia.
I said it's also going to be fun to watch them smack the shit out of Georgia, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's for Friday night's.
There you go.
That's for Friday night's show.
There you go.
There you go. So I'll get in points for tonight to get off of here and let some other people get on. So the NFL draft. What do you see the Panthers doing?
Well, see, this is the issue with the mock drafts, because I get sucked into these things. Even though I know 99.9 or 100% of mock drafts are all completely wrong most of the time, I still get sucked into it. And I start reading the different ones, and I start believing that these people know what they're talking about. They don't. They don't know any more than I do.
They don't.
It's a guessing game.
Nope.
But anyway, so I've seen several scenarios. I've seen them go with first of all, they have a lot of needs, obviously. They need offensive line help. They need a quarterback. I don't care what anybody thinks about Sam Darnold. He's not winning a Super Bowl for them. I want them to draft a quarterback. Well, let's put it this way. If Justin Fields is there at 8, and most mock drafts I see, he will be there at 8. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. If they pass on Justin Fields at 8, I'll be extremely... Yeah. So, and also defensive back help they need. And there's several really, really good defensive backs that are going to be taken in the top 15 of this draft. So, if they snatch up one of them, I wouldn't be terribly displeased about that. So for me, number 1, quarterback, number 2, offensive line, number 3, defensive back. That's the order. I don't want them now. Let's say Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith are sitting there, and not Clemson. Carolina needs a receiver too. I mean, they got DJ Moore. I mean, they got some really good receivers, a couple of really good receivers, but nothing groundbreaking. So
DJ Moore's talented though, man.
Yeah. But that's what I want them to do. Now, like I said, if Waddle's there by some miracle of God, and I'll be like, get him. I mean, you can't just pass on that.
And as a Falcons, I'm hoping we take a QB more specifically Justin Fields. Trying to prove to these people that Matt Ryan isn't good is hard. But somebody has to do it. I'm sick of seeing Matt Ryan in Atlanta. I'm sick of watching it. I want Justin Fields. I want a young talent. I want a new culture in Atlanta, and a Justin Fields will bring that. And I think it's ridiculous to trade back, and I think it'd be ridiculous to take anything but a QB.
I agree.
But obviously, we're going to do whatever's ridiculous.
I agree that what do they pick, the 4th? I think it's 4th. Yeah. I agree. I'm not a huge Matt Ryan fan. I mean, he's in the top half of the NFL, so he's right in that area where, like, there's 15 other teams that would love to have Matt Ryan, but at the end of the day, they need to start looking towards the future, because even if Matt Ryan's great this year, or good this year, like, what are you gonna do about next? This is the time to get a young guy and let Matt Ryan mentor him, so that in a year or two, when Matt Ryan's washed up and done, they'll have a guy that's ready to go. So I agree with you.
Yeah, and I agree somewhat, Slim, that defense is our problem. But are you taking defense with the 4th pick? No. I don't want a defensive guy with the 4th pick, and I also don't want to trade back. But I think that should be our third pick. Our 2nd pick should be a running back.
Now, the other news coming out of it.
I'll move on.
The other news coming out of it, the Atlanta Falcons camp, is that it looks inevitable that they're going to most likely trade Julio Jones away. So that's Matt Ryan's biggest target. You know what I think they're going to end up doing? They're going to
go ahead.
I think they're going to end up drafting Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, and I'm not totally against that, although, I mean, a tight end with the 4th pick, I know it's Kyle Pitts before I get, yelled at, basically. Not by you, sir, just anybody.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think QB is where we need to go.
Yep.
I mean, look at the weapons Matt Ryan's had. You think anything's going to change with Kyle Pitts? I mean, you just got to think of the weapons through Atlanta.
I think the tight ends in the NFL are more important than they ever have been. I mean, if you look at the elite teams, you've got Travis Kelce at Kansas City, right? When Rob Gronkowski with Tampa Bay. Who's the guy that plays for San Francisco that's elite? So all the tight ends do matter. They're basically glorified receivers at this. It's not the tight end of 1990 anymore. But
I agree.
But
what's Matt Ryan going to do with that tight end?
But I still think in the pantheon of offensive players, quarterback's obviously number one. We know that. I think running back and receiver are still more important than a tight end. So Atlanta needs both those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and we'll talk about this trade, this Teddy Bridgewater trade, before I have a conniption talking about the Falcons. It blows my mind. Anyway, what do you think about Teddy Two Gloves getting traded to the Broncos?
I'm glad. I didn't like when they got him. All the Panthers fans last year when they signed him, they're like, "Oh, he's coming along with Joe Brady, from LSU," and Joe Brady obviously worked with Teddy Bridgewater when he coached with the Saints. I'm like, "Oh, this is a match made in heaven." Look, Teddy Bridgewater is what Teddy Bridgewater is. He's average at best. So I didn't get it in the first place.
Yep.
I never understood it, and clearly the Panthers agree with me at this point. So I was glad they got rid of him, and now hopefully they got rid of him to free some cap space up to get some other players in there and hopefully draft a quarterback.
Yeah, and that's part of Atlanta's problem with cap space. Yeah. Well, Pete, I appreciate you taking my call tonight.
Yes, sir.
Man. I'll let you get on to some other callers, and you have an amazing and fantastic night.
All right, you do the same, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Caleb, the Spelling Bee host, checking in. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. It's Nate the Great.
Nate the Great. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I was wanting to talk about some football.
This is a football channel, at least most of the time. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. First, I want to talk about I don't know if we talked about this, but what do you think about the expansion for college football playoff? Just correct me if we talked about this before. I don't remember.
Well, here's what I'll tell you to do, Nate, because I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
I uploaded the video on Monday. I think it was on Monday. Yeah, It was on Monday. Yeah, I uploaded the video on Monday. About 30-minute long video where I had Uncle Lou on to talk about this. We went into a very, very in-depth detail. And of course, we're both geniuses. So everything that we say is completely and 100% correct. And so what I would tell you to do is go watch that video. In general, I'll give you the cliff notes, but you still need to go watch the video. I'll give you the cliff notes. The cliff notes are, I don't want the playoffs to be expanded, but they're going to be. And hopefully it's no more than 8 teams.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. 16 is probably too much. Like I said to Mike Rogers, what's college football calling show, it will affect the regular season.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, it's a good idea, but it's too much. Whatever. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good, a great pick if they do 8 teams. I'm pretty sure they will. But anyways, and my other topic was talking about the NFL draft. Just imagine. I know this might not ever happen. Just imagine if Trevor Lawrence doesn't get first pick overall. That was so stupid.
Yeah. Well,
That was,
I don't know what the odds are in Vegas. I bet they're astronomical. So if for anybody out there who wants to, who likes to gamble and doesn't mind losing some money and wants to really have a chance to win a lot of money,
I'm not saying that.
but if you're rich and you can spare 20, 30, 40, 50, $100, go ahead and put it against Trevor Lawrence. And if they draft somebody other than Trevor Lawrence, you'll be in good shape. I don't know. What are the odds? Can somebody
Yeah.
Can somebody look that up real quick and then type it in the chat? What is it, 1,000 to 1? 2,000 to 1? I don't know what it is. It's got to be astronomical. The point is, Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville. They've already pretty much said it. So the governor, listen to this. No, not the governor. Listen to this, Nate. The mayor of Jacksonville has lit up. For anybody who's ever been to Jacksonville, they know that there's a prominent bridge there, right? And it's usually lit up, I believe, blue, like really bright blue lights. You can see it from miles and miles away when you're driving into Jacksonville at night. They've lit the bridge up purple and orange in honor of Trevor Lawrence. The mayor has. So look, they're taking him. I mean,
so did they do fireworks or drones or what did they do?
Huh? What?
Like you said, they light up the lights with like purple orange. How did they do that? Like
there's lights on the bridge. They have lights on the bridge already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just light it up different whatever colors they want.
Well, I'm just saying, if that happened, but it won't happen ever. But yeah, I'm a Jags fan. If you didn't know that.
What?
I have a Jags.
What have you? What are you? You and Christian Ballard. You guys are killing me, man. So you're a Wolverines fan, a Nebraska fan, and now you're a Jaguars fan too.
I've been Jaguars.
No. Please don't do it.
You've been a Jaguars fan for how long?
I am.
I believe you. Kinda.
Oh. 6 years.
You've been a Jaguars fan for 6 years. All right, good enough. Good enough. Thank you, Nate. Nate.
Yes.
I love you, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. Love Nate. He's good people. Dylan Deloney, thank you for the super chat. Says, if the Falcons trade Jones, I quit. What do you quit? What are you quitting? Don't quit your job. What are you quitting? That would be self-destructive. I mean, don't quit on life either. We need you around here. Believe me, I need all the people I can get around here, including you. What are you quitting? Quitting your fandom? Well, my question to you, Dylan, would be, what is this the last straw? Because the Falcons have been doing stupid shit for years. Why is this the last straw? So, anyway, thank you. Thank you, sir. What's up, your own Pete?
And on the seventh day, the Lord said, fuck the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir.
Have you seen a more? And listen, I've been a part of this, so I'm not completely, I've contributed to this hyping up of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Have you seen a more overhyped team in college football in recent years?
Yes, Michigan.
Whoa, great.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir.
Yes. You're you know what? You're a genius too, Slim. But
with that being said, I haven't seen a more delusional fan base trying to ride high off of a fluky win that they know was a fluky win. Because even going into that game, North Carolina fans said that Miami's defense would give them hell. Nobody went into that game thinking Miami's defense was going to be the weak point. So stop it.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say about that. I don't know. Fluky. The score was fluky. I mean, look, I still believe that North Carolina overall was a better team last year than Miami was. But the score was definitely fluky. I mean, nobody saw that coming.
I have trouble saying that about a team that lost to Florida State.
Well, that was fluky. I mean, come on. Anybody that
I'll give them that. It was.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that loses to Florida State last season, that's kind of fluky. You know, unless you're a FCS team or something. I mean, you look at what North Carolina had some good wins last year, man. You look at especially the bowl game against Texas A&M. I mean, they made that a game. That came all the way down to the end.
It did.
Yeah.
I watched that game. That wasn't a bad game.
I'm still gonna ride with the Tar Heels. I still think that they're gonna finish second in the ACC. I know Miami fans like you and other people don't want to hear that.
Second, third division.
Yeah, well, that's what will have to happen if they don't finish second in the conference. They'll have to finish second in the division because obviously they're not in Clemson's division. But I mean, look, they have.
I'm nowhere near as high on North Carolina as a lot of people. I think people overhype Sam Howell, and I think their run game played a lot more into their success than what people thought, and they're all gone.
Yes, they've been recruiting well, though. That matters. They've been recruiting better than Miami has. I mean, as far as the numbers go.
They haven't been recruiting better than Miami.
They haven't?
No.
Oh.
North Carolina has literally never had a recruiting class higher than Miami's
Ever? Well, that shows, here, this is directed at me.
Congratulations. You tried and you failed miserably.
Yeah, I failed miserably on that one, didn't I? I thought for some reason that they've had better recruiting classes the past 2 seasons, but I guess you just told me different. Maybe I'm listening to the wrong people.
And actually, I've been brought up the fact that Miami's last couple of recruiting classes, well, not counting this past year's, but the 2 previous. I mean, the fact that they managed, top 20 recruiting classes, I think was great, but they managed top 15, and I was outstanding by that.
Now, I do still believe that. I believe Sam Howell is certainly top 5 quarterback in the whole country. Maybe. Let me think here for a second.
Sam Howell at best is the third best quarterback in the conference.
No, come on now, Slim. Who are the so?
Compare their numbers. Jared Kings are better. I
Okay.
mean, it's just a fact. His numbers are better.
Okay, but I mean, you can take stats and twist them any way. Which numbers are better? I mean, what numbers? Which important number?
But I'll even say this: for somebody that has less stats, I think whatever the hell his name is, Clemson's the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know that. I agree with you. He probably will be when it's all said and done, but we don't really know that yet because he hasn't started. He's only started a couple games.
Yeah, but from what I've seen of him, he's a very, very good quarterback. I mean, that's one I'm putting to the eye test. He just looks to be the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy is, he's like Cam Newton 2.0. I mean, it's size, arm. Actually, he's got a better arm than Cam Newton had, actually. He can do it all.
And that's a big boy to try and bring down.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy. And he's a winner, too. But Sam Howell's way more experienced.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying Howell's way more experienced, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in other news, your chances on that bet have gotten even worse. Did you hear Tampa re-signed AB?
I did hear that. They must be paying this guy, what, $3 a week? How? Tampa Bay is the only team in the NFL that's figured out a way to skirt the salary cap. And you know what? This is Tom Brady. You got to give credit to Tom Brady for this. This is what he did the whole time at New England. People don't realize, this is what they always say. Oh, you got to get that bag while you can get it because it doesn't last forever. Okay. You make more money winning Super Bowls than you do not winning Super Bowls. Period. And Tom Brady's figured this out. He's willing to take less money and restructure his contract. He's been doing this his whole career in order to surround himself with the type of players that you need to win Super Bowls.
To be honest, though, he hasn't necessarily needed the money because his wife has more money than him.
Well, look, yes, you're right. I mean, yeah, she's worth $500 million or whatever it is. I get that, but I don't know if you play for 20 years like Tom Brady has, and let's say you're making an average of $22 million a year or whatever, which is on the low scale of elite quarterbacks. I mean, look at what Pat Mahomes is making. Look at what Deshaun Watson, was making. And some of these other guys that are signing these ridiculous contracts. What's 20 times 20? I can do math here. That's $400 million over the course of your career. And that's just playing football. That doesn't even count endorsements. That doesn't count whatever incentives you get for winning playoff games. And that's a lot of what he does is these incentive-based contracts, where he gets, big giant bonuses for winning playoff games, and then, an extra $5 or $10 million for winning a Super Bowl or whatever. So he's I mean, Slim, what's the difference between having $200 million and $400 million? Would that change your life? It wouldn't change mine.
Happy with either. I'm
right.
Be honest.
I mean, once you got that, once you reach that a certain point, like at this point, you're just, there's no difference. No difference between 200 and 400 million. They wouldn't change my life.
That's what they did with AB's contract. The vast majority of it is incentive based.
Yeah.
I think only like $3 million of it's guaranteed, and the other $3.25 is all incentives.
Well, hell, he's just happy to be on a football team. Let's be real.
He should be. I think a lot of people were right. Nobody was going to give him a long-term deal with his track record.
Yeah. Well, of course. And there's this weird sort of thing between him and Brady. They're like there's a total bromance going on there. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But you saw the same thing happen with Jameis Winston when Jameis Winston went to the Saints. Like, he went for the league minimum. They were paying him like $1.2 million a year or something, which is really low for a quarterback. But.
And in other news, not Cameron Brate, good Lord. O.J. Howard is on schedule to be back in plenty of time for the season. So that adds another great tight end to that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably losing that bet. Probably losing that bet.
I'll go to the draft since that's mostly what we're talking about. I'm actually going to completely disagree with Caleb, and I hope Tampa goes the route they have in the past and does draft defense in the first round. And preferably a replacement for Ndamukong Suh, because at best, I think you got one more full season out of him.
What do you think about running back? I know you got Fournette, but Fournette has been injury prone since he came in the NFL. When he's on the field, he's amazing, but he's not on the field all the time. I mean, you got some really good running backs. You got obviously Travis Etienne. I'm hearing rumors that Travis Etienne, apparently the Bills really want Travis Etienne because they're loaded at every other position. They're really weak at running back, and there's thought that they want to trade up to 21 to pick up Etienne. But whether it's Najee Harris or Etienne, I mean, what do you think about that for the Bucs? If they're there,
if they're going to take a running back, I would take Etienne all day long. I would even take Etienne over Najee Harris, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty decent chance that both of those guys end up going in the first round. Now, what order they go in, I don't know, but I mean, look, they're 1A and 1B, however which way you want to slice it. And I'm as much of a Clemson homer as you're going to find on the planet, but Najee Harris is elite too.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from Najee at all. I just, having watched them both, Travis Etienne would be the guy I'd go with, and I'm not an ACC homer at all.
Yeah. Jeff Webster, I'm not so sure about that, but we're going to find out. Because if the Bills do trade up to get Etienne, like they, like what people were reporting, then he may go before Harris. We'll see. J-Dub's,
Well,
he's playing the Bama card.
That's the homer in him coming out.
Yeah.
But I just don't think Tampa will take a running back because they picked up that guy from that pass catching running back from Cincinnati, and they drafted a running back in the second round last year.
Mm. But the defense is the defense is loaded. Is there a better defense in the NFL than what's coming back for Tampa Bay next year? I don't think so.
Statistically, they weren't even the best defense in the NFL. Maybe. They still have things they could work on.
I don't care about statistically. I watched the Super Bowl. It was a domination. They embarrassed them.
Yeah, most of their problems come from the secondary and just the fact that their secondary is young, so they can get caught out of position sometimes. But I think with more experience, that's going to get better.
Right. Tampa Bay's in a unique situation where they're so loaded on both sides of the football that they can just you always hear the term, just take the best player available. Forget about what position you need. That they're in the position that more than anybody to do that. They can just say who's the best guy on the board. Doesn't matter what position it is. Just go ahead and take them. They can do that.
Yeah, I've heard it put like that. I've heard it put. They're drafting for depth, not need.
Right.
And I also don't have a problem with them, just drafting whoever the best player on the board is. But, I tend to think defense is just as important. And, obviously it proved itself in the Super Bowl last year. And I don't have a problem with them taking a defensive player in the first round. Tampa Bay took Warren Sapp in the first round, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions they ever made.
Look, if there's one of these top-rated guys on defense that's still on the board when they pick, take them. I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing with that at all.
I think
here's the only thing I will say.
Would come to need would be, on that D line to replace Ndamukong Suh eventually.
I feel like Tom Brady has more pull as far as what the team drafts than maybe than any other quarterback in the NFL. And so, if there's a weapon,
I think you're right.
Look, he's Tom Brady. He's like royalty. He's older than some of the guys that are in the front office. So some of these guys.
Realize his offensive coordinator got drafted years after him and retired, obviously now years before him.
Look, man, some of these young players have parents that are younger than Tom Brady, and they play with him. That's pretty wild. But no, so in other words, let's say there's some wide receiver that Tom Brady really likes, and he's still there. I think they may not make the decision based on solely on what Tom Brady wants, but I think they'll definitely consider it heavily. You know what I mean?
I don't doubt that. Now that brings up a good question. Say you're right, which I think you are. Tom Brady's got a lot of influence on, obviously, who's on the roster because Bruce Arians said he didn't want Antonio Brown, and he's there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom Brady's almost in a de facto GM situation, and everybody keeps with the Brady Belichick thing. Who's the better GM so far? What Brady's put together in Tampa, or what Belichick put together in New England, or lack thereof on offense?
Well, we saw the answer to that last season. I think here's the difference I would say that there is between the two, and I've mentioned this to you before, is that Tampa Bay is going all in, going for broke for the short term, for a 2-3 year period. And I think that New England is always trying to play the long game. So, I'm not.
I don't doubt that at all, and that's why I've also said before when I've called in, I wouldn't be opposed to Tampa taking a quarterback early. Somebody that you can sit behind Brady for, not necessarily a first rounder, because they're not at this point in this day and age. Those guys don't want to sit behind anybody. But if you can pick up a quarterback in say the third round and let him sit behind Tom Brady for a couple of years and see what you can turn him into.
this is a pretty deep quarterback class. So, that would be this would be the year to do that if you're going to do it. And I'm seeing a lot of love for Kellen Mond from Texas A&M. I'm not quite sure why. And look, I'm not claiming to be some sort of expert NFL scout. I haven't sat down in a closet somewhere and watched 50 hours of film on Kellen Mond, but I did watch him play for 80 years at Texas A&M, and I don't really see the, I don't see it.
I was about to say, isn't Kellen Mond only 3 years younger than Brady?
Yeah. He's him and Hunter Renfrow. They're the only two guys that have played college football for over 10 years.
No, they wasn't the only ones. You had, what was that guy's name? Chris Winkie was like 35 when he won the Heisman.
Yeah. All right.
There's that guy.
Slim, the calls are stacking up here, buddy.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'll roll on, boss.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you. Hey, you gonna come hang out with me tomorrow night?
Why not? It depends. It all depends on what time I get back.
All right.
I'm somewhere in Louisiana at the moment. And
All right.
kind of stuck here.
All right. Well, I hope to see you there. All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. What's up, your own Pete?
Hey, Pete. This is Justin. How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. This is my first time calling the show.
Well, don't let it be your last. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for holding.
Oh wow. You're welcome. Hey, Pete. I'm a soccer fan. Also, I'm a Carolina Panther fan.
Okay, South Carolina fan and a Carolina Panther fan. So you're at least halfway there.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Skip. We talked about soccer about spring game last Saturday.
Oh, so I didn't see any of it. Now, here's what I will say: the only thing I know about the spring game for South Carolina last weekend is that there was a bunch of South Carolina fans on Twitter. At this point, other than you calling in tonight, that's the only interaction I have with South Carolina fans. They've completely disappeared off my YouTube channel. So I used to have a bunch of them on here, and they've disappeared. I think I know why. I think we all know why. But I did see them all complaining about how bad the team was, and my only reaction to that was, well, what did you expect? I mean, what was their? First of all, you have a new coach. Half the team quit, left with the coach, and then the recruiting class was the worst recruiting class. Didn't they have a worse recruiting class than Vanderbilt? What did they finish in the 70s, 80s? Pitiful.
Yeah, I think they finished at 7.
Yeah, so that's what I think about it. I think they're gonna be terrible. I mean, unfortunately for you. Now, look. It's at this point, South Carolina. They've hit rock bottom, and that's something to be said for that, considering who we're talking about. But we'll see what happens with this new coach, and they need to give this guy some time. He's not going to go in there and wave a magic wand around and be competing for the East or in the state with Clemson at any time in the next couple of years. So you got to be patient. And Gamecock fans are experts at being patient. They've been being patient for 127 years. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Skip. And it's gonna take time because this man, he gotta get some bold crew across next 2 or 3 years.
Yes. Yeah. If they can win, if South Carolina can manage to win 5, I haven't even looked at their schedule. I'm just going off the top of my head because I know who they play in the East. I know who they play. I know they play Clemson. I know they play A&M every year out of the West. If they can manage to win 5 games, that would be amazing and fantastic for the Cocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. And PCP, my second question is, what are your thoughts about Carolina Panthers? We need a quarterback bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping what all these quote unquote experts are saying is true, and they think that Justin Fields can't read defenses because they haven't. I don't know what they're looking at. And I hope he falls to number 8 and the Panthers steal him, because it will be a steal. Let's be real here. Justin Fields is the second best quarterback in this draft, and I look forward to proving everybody wrong that says he's not. Yep.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson, I wish we'd get him, but I don't think that's not going to happen.
Well, he's radioactive right now. Nobody wants to. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 20-something lawsuits will do that to a guy. Thank you for calling in, sir. You're amazing and fantastic. First time caller there. Hopefully it's not his last. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Yeah, he said he wish y'all could get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
If the Carolina Panthers have an Instagram page, that's the best way to get Deshaun Watson. Create an Instagram page. He's always hiring off of the Instagram. Hey, I like what you told the other caller when you said, I almost fell out of the chair. You said, hey, listen, man, South Carolina's hit rock bottom. And that's saying something considering who we're talking about.
And, hey, but was I lying though?
I mean, what have they been floating? Have they been floating 6 inches off the bottom for the last 50 years?
Yeah.
And they finally hit bottom now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Listen, there's only one way to make a grilled cheese sandwich. You can use different types of cheese. That's fine. But what you have to do is you have to put butter in the pan, okay? 2 slices of whatever cheese you're using, and you have to put mayonnaise on the bread before you toast it. And that's what a lot of people seem to have a problem with. But just trust me. And of course, it's got to be Duke's mayonnaise. I don't know of any other kind. So you have to put Duke's mayonnaise on both pieces of bread, 2 slices of cheese, butter in the pan. Okay, you cook the one side. Before you flip the thing over to cook the other side, you got to put a slice of butter on top of the sandwich. Then you're flipping it over. So you're having butter cooking the bread on both sides. That's the only way to cook a grilled cheese. Great show, Pete. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you. I do happen to be an expert grilled cheese cook. You can ask anybody in the family here. It's not even a question around here. Nobody in this house is even allowed to make a grilled cheese sandwich other than Pigskin Pete. Matter of fact, there's serious repercussions for anybody that does try to. Kids try to, grounded. Mrs. Pete tries to. Well, nothing happens because she runs shit around here. But I give her a bad look. You know, I've tried both ways. You can make a great grilled cheese sandwich without putting mayonnaise on it. That is one way to do it. But you don't need to. Sorry. What's up, you're on with Pete?
Hey, what's up, Pigskin Pete? This is Tiger Nate. How you
Tiger
doing,
Nate. Man, where have you been?
Yeah, let's just say I took a little hiatus over here.
Yeah, took a hiatus
Worked my tail off, and right now I'm running on fumes, just getting through this week because it's exam week. But,
yeah, so for people who don't know, Tiger Nate here is a college student, so he's got more important things to do than hang out on YouTube all day like the rest of us degenerates.
Well, it's very hard not to, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my application in, everything like 2-3 months ago, and just have to wait for those final grades to go in. I'm just praying to God that I get in because, man, I worked too hard to really come short. But, there's other options, but I don't think there's any other better place for me to go than there.
No, of course not.
No. I mean,
I have faith in you.
Times you'd think that I'd probably get too attached to it.
I have faith in you. I think you're going to be a Clemson Tiger before we know it.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, like from where I was a year ago, if you remember me from a year ago, I was on the phone. I think I remember it now. I was slurring my words. I was all over the place. I was in some bad stuff, man. I've made a whole 180 from back then, man. Because I was struggling, but it just feels so much better to be where I am now, and knowing I'm just on that doorstep. I think it would just suck if I didn't, because I've gone through too much right now to be able to turn away from that. But anyway, enough about me.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're in a better place.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
One question I had that no one's really been talking about, or at least not to my knowledge, anyone's been talking about. Who's going to be second place in the ACC Atlantic Division? We know who's going to be number one, but
wow, that's that's a good question.
My thought is either Louisville or NC State, but who do you think?
Jeez, this might even be harder to figure out than the Coastal Division at this point. What
I know it.
What if I shocked you right now? I'm going to shock you right now. And this is without really sitting it down and thinking about it, but just off at the top of my head, Florida State. What do you think about that?
I could kind of see that. I mean,
yeah.
Based on, they've had some pretty good recruiting classes here and there. They definitely could pull it off.
What is this? Is this the second year?
Like a three-way tie on the second place right now.
Is this the second or third year for the coach? And then look, they went out and got Mackenzie Milton, which is he's a proven quarterback. And I know they've been terrible on the offensive line, and that's really the main concern with them. But skill position wise, they have some really good receivers. They got a couple of really good running backs. I think offensively they have a chance to be pretty good. Now defensively, I'm not sure. Now I don't know. I just don't know about the defense. I know they lost a bunch of good guys on defense last year. But I think that the tendency is just to be like, Florida State's been terrible for the past 2 or 3 years, so they're going to be terrible again this year. I'm not so sure about that. The Atlantic,
there's nowhere else to go but up from where they were last year.
Another one's Boston College. Boston College did you know that Boston College has had the best recruiting class this last year that they've had in like 30 years or something, 20 something years? I don't know what the exact.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
They got a lot returning too, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think Boston College has always been sort of a hard-nosed team. Plays really solid defense and runs the football a lot. But this new coach that they've had, his first season was last season or whatever. They're starting to sling the ball around now. They have a really good quarterback, right? The transfer from Notre Dame. So. Boston College that might be my actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking Boston College might be the second best team in the Atlantic.
Yeah, and besides, they play us tough like every year. Well, except for 2019, for the most part, they play us tough. I mean, we saw that last year. I mean, it was a pretty good nail biter at halftime.
Yeah. Well, they're always big. They're always big, offensive line guys. They're big on both the offensive and defensive line. They're just now starting to catch up with the new wave of football and starting to, get more speed in there. They've always been more of a Big Ten style team than an ACC style team. But I think they're transitioning into to faster and more high powered offensively.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember when I was watching that game, I was on a train up in Western North Carolina, up in the mountains, and it would keep cutting in and out, and it was driving me insane. I was like, what is the dang score? And I see at halftime we're down 28-13. I'm like, well, great. Now I can't watch that game. I'm up in the mountains. I finally got to see just the later half, and when I was coming back to the hotel, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It was killing me. Oh, my gosh, that game was something else.
And without me thinking about I'm trying to remember, where's that game play? Is that game in Boston College this year? I think it is.
No, it's actually at Clemson.
Okay, good.
Too. I thought it was weird how they did that, because you'd think that after being at Clemson, they'd switch it off, but I think they're trying to stay true to their original format.
Yeah, because the schedule got all screwed up because of the pandemic. That's what you're referring to, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's why I was confused.
Right. And yeah, to go on that playoff expansion conversation you were having earlier, and I actually think, I commented on your other video the other day about it. I think definitely it would be great for the sports world because, for one, revenue, but also more games to watch. At the same time, there's also the argument, the players are probably going to be tired out of their mind. A lot of them are going to be injured with another game, maybe. I don't really know how strong that argument really is, but
Well,
you have to be seen. But hey,
they'll have to. It depends on how much they expand to. Anything over 8, they'll have to shorten the regular season. There's just no other way. So,
right
to 11 or 10 games or whatever.
FCS way, which is like 16 games, but at the same time, that's a lot of games. But also, my thinking is, like say if they went to 8 teams, what would be the other 2 bowl games? And I think I said in the comment, I said not Sun Bowl. What was it? The Outback and the I forget what the other one was. I said, but to be perfectly honest, no one wants to be backseated like that and put in another bowl because everyone wants to, the New Year's Six. It's going to be. It would be interesting if they tried to expand it with those said bowl games instead of putting in a whole new format with specific playoff games, not catered to New Year's Six bowls.
Well, you could have. So, like, how it is right now, how they have sometimes the national championship, or I'm sorry, they'll have a New Year's Six bowl game and a playoff game in the same stadium, just on different dates. So they could possibly do it that way. There might be multiple. Like, in other words, there could be 2 Orange Bowls instead of 1 on any given year, or like you said, they could add a couple of other, like a New Year's 8 instead of a New Year's 6. I believe that's what you're referring to, right? But I don't know. I guess it's all about money. Whoever the highest bidder is, if you're one of these ancillary bowls that's not in the New Year's Six, but you're still a major bowl and you're trying to get into the playoff situation, it's all going to come down to dollars.
Right, and that's where I see, like, for instance, the Citrus Bowl, the Outback Bowl.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Whichever one you can fit.
Yeah.
So, my last thing, possible home-and-home series. This one's always talked about. Everyone wants to match up with everyone else and their mother. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'd probably like to take either Texas or maybe Oregon or USC, any one of those 3, mainly because we don't really pull very many teams out of the West Coast.
How about Michigan?
We seem to pull in teams from Michigan too. It's not like something, they're not as favored in my opinion as I would be for like Texas or USC, but Michigan, that'd be pretty cool too.
I like the Oregon idea. I like the Oregon idea. I think that would be a fun game to watch, or the style of play that they have, high powered, fast paced. Oregon and Clemson would be great.
Oh, heck yeah.
The only reason I say Michigan is because they've never played Michigan in their history, and on top of that, you've heard the same shit that I've heard about. Oh, how come these Southern teams never want to come and come up to Ohio or Michigan and play a game in November? It's cold. Well, so I'd love to travel up to Ann Arbor in November and absolutely curb stomp Michigan in 30-degree weather and see what they can. That'll just end the discussion then, so we can move on with that crap. I hate that. That.
And I know cold, man. I went to that Boston College game 2 years ago. That was ridiculous. It was, it wasn't negative or even like just low temperatures. It was about in the low 30s. But man, that wind was going 30 miles an hour. I was pretty much chapped all over for about 2 weeks. It was ridiculous. Yeah, we beat them 27-7. That was awesome. Yeah. I loved that game.
Yeah. It's a stupid argument.
Exactly.
I've made several videos about this in the past. Anybody who just go type in Pigskin Pete in the search bar whenever you have some free time and type in I don't even know what the hell the title word was. Cold weather, Southern teams, cold weather. Whatever, I don't know what it was, but it's a ridiculous argument. If you look at the history of football Some of the greatest players in the history of football, Hall of Famers, were Southern guys that went to Northern team. Brett Favre went to Green Bay. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Had no problem.
Right.
I'd like to see them come down to South Carolina in Death Valley in September when it's 110 degrees and it feels like 150.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. I think hot weather is worse to play in than
Of
cold.
course it is.
To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Texas A&M game when those Texas A&M fans came down. They're like, "My God, it's hot here," and I'm like, "You're from Texas, isn't it hot down there?"
They don't have that humidity.
Not this hot.
They don't have the humidity we have
exactly.
here. Yeah. All right, Nate. Nate, you're amazing and fantastic.
Passed out in front of me there too.
Yeah, Nate, you're amazing and fantastic. I'm running out of time, buddy. So, and I got one more.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Thanks for calling in.
man.
Yeah, hopefully call back next week, man. Thanks. Good luck to
My bad. See you later.
good luck to Nate. He's trying to get into Clemson. And Nate has been a lifelong Clemson Tiger. I don't even know. Look, I'm 40. I think he's probably been. I'm trying to think of how many games I've been to in my life. 30 maybe, 25 maybe. I have to go back and really think about it year to year and write it down. But this guy's been to 30 games in the past 5 years. I mean, he goes to virtually every Clemson game, whether home or away. He's a hardcore fan. Thank you, Ray Finkel's creepy bedroom, for the super chat. Ray Finkel's house says, any thoughts on Charles Barkley's comments about the Georgia Bulldogs? I don't know what comments you're referring to other than what I've heard other people say about it. But why? I mean, I don't know what he said. But why is anybody surprised that Charles Barkley is talking shit about Georgia? He's an Auburn guy. What did he say? I don't know, but thank you for the super chat. You're amazing and fantastic, sir. How do I not know what? How do I not know what Charles Barkley said? I don't know. I don't watch the NBA channel. That's the number one reason. I have no idea. Everybody hold on to your hats for this last call here. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Hey, good evening, Pete. This is Edward calling in. How you doing on this awesome Wednesday night?
I'm amazing and fantastic, Edward. How are you doing? I'm glad to see that your phone is functional tonight. That helps.
Yes, yeah, I'm also amazing and fantastic also. Yeah, the problem was, I don't know if I think I said it on the Lunch Money show. Go ahead and tell you, the router was all messed up. So,
yeah, right.
My dad called AT&T, and the guy actually rebooted it from where he was, like from his end or something.
Okay.
And it fixed it. So
yeah. So you're calling on the internet, not on a home phone.
Well, I'm on a landline phone, but calling right through to your show.
Right.
Okay.
What's up, Edward?
I want to ask you, what's your favorite Soundgarden albums and your favorite songs by them?
All of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I think you.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think you did say. I was going to ask you who you think the best team, who the second best team in the ACC is, but it sounds like you covered it. I think you said Boston College, you believe?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The second best team in the ACC, I think, is North Carolina. In the Atlantic Division, I think probably Boston College. The best Soundgarden album ever is Super Unknown.
Oh yeah, I got that one. That's a good one.
Yes.
And what's a Bad Motor Finger? I like both of those.
All right, look, they're all good. There's no duds there.
No way. Can't go wrong with Soundgarden.
Of course not.
Yeah. So what do you think of this whole Teddy Bridgewater going to Broncos? I think he should go there. And do you have a prediction on where Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence is Jaguars. No, forget it. I meant Mac Jones Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Trask. Do you have any predictions on where the NFL they're going? What teams will pick them up? Any predictions?
Well, as luck would have it, I almost called you Nate. As luck would have it, Edward. As luck would have it, I will be live tomorrow night. I'll be one of at least 50,000 YouTubers that'll be live for the NFL draft tomorrow night. So as we are preparing for the first pick, I'm going to go over. So I have this contest going for the past couple of months for people that donated to the show. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries. Thank you to all those 8 people. And they will win $100 from Pigskin Pete. Whoever gets closest or exactly right to the order that the quarterbacks will be taken in. But anyway, once I go live tomorrow night, I'm going to give my detailed thoughts on where I think certain quarterbacks are going, where I think certain players are going. And just like everybody else, I will be completely and totally wrong and be surprised at the dumb shit that some of these teams do. It never ceases to amaze me. So what I'm telling you is hold that thought as far as who'd you say, Trask and Pitts and whoever else you said, hold that thought until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. You tune right in here to the Pigskin Pete YouTube channel, and I will give my synopsis at that time. I don't want to give away all the goods. You know, I don't want to show how the sausage is made here for the Wednesday night show. Tomorrow's a big day. I don't even know if I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, since I'm the last caller, before I get off, I'd like to maybe give some shout-outs, if that's cool.
Oh, well, what would an Edward phone call be without shout-outs?
Yeah, exactly. What would it be? It'd be nothing, right?
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir.
All right. I'll go ahead and give my shout-outs. Pizza Woman, shout-out to you. Let's see. Nate, the hopeful Wolverine fan, shout-out to you. Rack Dog, shout-out to you. What's there? Tiger Nate, shout-out to you. P. Digits, shout-out to you. Luke Walker, shout-out to you. Clemson Carson, shout-out to you. Mike 3883, shout out to you. And Rack Dog, I don't know if I answered your question. You asked me what about my favorite video game. If I didn't answer it, I'll answer it for you. It's Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, just to let you know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Edward. And it looks like Uncle Lou's clearing.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Uncle Lou's clearing up. Uncle Lou's clearing up exactly what Barkley was talking about here. He's going to educate me because I have no idea.
Sorry. Wait, one more shout out.
Sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? Edward just doesn't even know. You know, Edward, you got to know when your time's up, buddy. When I say goodbye, did I even say goodbye? I don't know, but you got to read the room. That's all. No big deal. I'm not mad at you. Like Tupac said, I ain't mad at you, Edward. What did he say? What did he say here? He said, Barkley goes back and forth with the UGA guy on the NBA tonight all the time. Been doing it for years. Barkley and sing UGA fight song. Yes, that's why I don't understand the question. That's why I didn't understand the question. Charles Barkley's talking shit about UGA. Wow, big shocker there. Thank you, JC. Became a champion member, sir. JC, thank you. You're amazing and fantastic. Just yet another join member, person that loves the Pigskin Pete show enough to support it. All right, guys. On that note, I can't top that. I can't top JC becoming a champion member. It's great. I can't top that. Anyway, it's been an hour and a half. Look, thank you to all the callers, all the people that sent in super chats, all the join members, all the people that just showed up and hit the like button and shared it to their favorite social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instacart, Snap, Face, whatever they are. I don't know. Too old to be perusing all these sites. Well, if I need any advice on how to use Instagram, I'll holler at my boy Deshaun Watson. He's an expert at it. But other than that, the only thing I know how to use is the Twitter machine, which, by the way, go follow me on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook because to be on Facebook, you can't be Pigskin Pete because Pigskin Pete is not a real person. I mean, I'm a real person and I'm Pigskin Pete. But according to Facebook, I'm not a real person because I don't have a driver's license that says Pigskin Pete on it. I could do the Ocho Cinco route, Chad Johnson, and go and change my name to Pigskin Pete legally, but I'm pretty sure that would be a terrible idea, and my family probably wouldn't like it too much. But seriously, share the video, hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. But look, I will be back tomorrow night. Don't fear. Never fear. Pigskin Pete will be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the first round of the NFL Draft. And I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody go check out my man. Where's he at? Right there. My man, D4 Sports. That's right, D4 Sports. Check them out. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow night. Pigskin Pete.